Hello and welcome to Middle East Matters. Coming up in the programme, the situation in Syria has been described by one diplomat as the biggest humanitarian tragedy of our time. A UN meeting in Rome this week pushed for an urgent solution to the crisis. Iran is emerging as a go-to partner for industrial deals with the West. We take a look at how foreign businesses are moving to invest in the oil-rich country. And in Egypt, a new film is pushing boundaries. Family Secrets tackles the taboos surrounding homosexuality. Our correspondents bring us the story from Cairo. It's a situation that threatens not only the region, but the whole world. That's how one minister summed up the humanitarian crisis in Syria. International representatives at a UN conference in Rome were calling for urgent action to free up aid to reach those 6 million people who've been displaced in Syria and a further 3 million who fled the country.
It's one of the harshest winters in decades to hit the Middle East. Hundreds of thousands of displaced Syrians are enduring sub-zero temperatures, with sometimes little clothing for protection. Many civilians across Syria now live without electricity, heat, or adequate food. In the Palestinian refugee camp of Yarmouk, south of Damascus, aid agencies have only recently been able to deliver food parcels to internally displaced families. They've been trapped here in this rebel-held area for months without anything to eat.
We've been stuck here for 7 months. For the last 2 months, there's been nothing to eat. In the beginning, we could find food, but now we wake up at night starving. 1 kilogram of rice costs 15,000 Syrian liras. Who has that kind of money?
Muslim leaders in Syria have even issued a fatwa allowing citizens to eat cats and dogs to satiate their hunger. The situation is also critical in homes where aid agencies haven't been able to enter for more than a year. Shocked by the desperate plight of displaced civilians, underground networks from the capital are now working to smuggle in food and medicine. Many hospitals across the country have been bombarded by government forces, leaving the sick and wounded to languish without care.
We've noticed that there was no medical follow-up on patients with chronic diseases. The fact that those people aren't being treated is as deadly as bombs. For decades, wars have affected civilians first.
Few NGOs have been able to carry out humanitarian operations inside Syria. As a result, they've had to rely on local actors to deliver the aid. It's made the coordination of each action more complicated, but it's also had its advantages.
From the beginning, we have worked and built projects for the Syrian people and with the Syrian people. That's why, today, they've accepted us, which is very important to ensure both quality treatments for our patients and the security of our teams. Most nurses and midwives we've hired come from internally displaced camps.
Increasingly, aid workers also face the risk of being kidnapped, especially in the northern part of the country. A dozen humanitarian workers have been killed since the beginning of the conflict, and at least 15 others have been abducted.
As sanctions begin to melt away, foreign powers are rushing in to get a foothold on Iranian industry. France sent 140 businessmen on an official visit after Finance Minister Pierre Moscovici said there could be significant commercial opportunities there if sanctions are lifted. But there's still a fair way to go. In November, Tehran promised to curb nuclear production if Western powers eased up some of the sanctions. After this 6-month deal expires, Iran's economic future's uncertain. Catherine Clifford has more.
Hungrily eyeing Iran with renewed interest. The oil-rich country with its population of 76 million is a potential goldmine. And companies around the world are hoping the thawing of Western sanctions will reopen the treasure trove. Iran's car market used to be dominated by French giants like Peugeot and Renault, until international sanctions threw a spanner in the works. The number of cars produced in Iran more than halved between 2011 and 2013, from 1.7 million to just 500,000. But in November, Tehran accepted to curb nuclear activity in return for an easing of sanctions. Now production lines are slowly juddering back to life.
Investing here is a really good opportunity for foreign manufacturers. We have a large production capacity. It's a win-win situation for both sides.
Here in Tehran's suburbs, Renault operates in this factory. Others are following. A delegation of 140 French businessmen set out for the capital to sniff out prospects. Finance Minister Pierre Moscovici said the underlying message should be read as an encouragement to the Iranians to keep their word. Despite saying Tehran couldn't be expected to drop its nuclear program entirely, Iran's foreign minister was keen to reassure the world of the country's commitments.
I believe we are at that historical crossroad, that we can establish the type of relations between Iran and this international community that can, in and of itself, be the best guarantee that it would be foolish for either side to break away from.
Here on the slopes above Tehran, Iranians celebrated the easing.
It's had a really big effect on public morale. And we've already seen a slight improvement in the economy.
Hardliners, on the other hand, believe the deal compromises the country's interests. But for most Iranians, change is urgent. For some, the embargo even hangs lives in the balance.
There's a lack of medication. Recently, I treated a patient who had a heart attack. I couldn't save him. Later, I saw he'd been taking bad quality medication.
Investors remain wary of the Iranian markets. The recent deal is only an interim accord, with a shelf life of 6 months. So investing here ensures one thing, if nothing else, taking risks.
Scarlett Johansson is sticking with SodaStream, but has had to drop Oxfam, where she'd been an ambassador since 2007. The charity put it down to a fundamental difference of opinion, since Johansson represents the soft drinks company SodaStream, which has a large factory in a Jewish settlement in the West Bank. Oxfam believes businesses operating in these settlements violate the rights of Palestinians.
If only I could make this message go viral.
Her wish has become a reality. At first sight, the TV spot looks like any other ad campaigns featuring Scarlett Johansson. But the commercial sparked widespread controversy worldwide.
Like most actors, my real job is saving the world.
This last comment was perhaps one too many, since the American actress has stepped down as an ambassador for the British NGO Oxfam. So what exactly is so controversial about this advertisement for soda? SodaStream is an Israeli brand which operates a large factory in the Jewish settlement of Maladumim in the West Bank. While Israel disputes it, the settlements are considered illegal under international law.
This factory is set up on land stolen by force. If they want to set up bridges for peace, why don't they establish this factory in Israel and then employ Palestinian workers?
SodaStream denies any wrongdoing, saying Israeli and Palestinian workers at the plant receive equal wages and benefits. It claims the company is even more than that. It's a model for peace.
We're able to employ people of different kinds, the Palestinians side by side with Israeli Arabs and with Israeli Jews. They work together here. We have about 1,300 people working in this facility in harmony and peace. This factory is the model for peace. SodaStream is showing every day what peace will look like and proving every day that there can be and will be peace among our peoples.
When asked in front of the camera about their working conditions, some Palestinian employees agree. The company is helping both sides to learn to know each other.
We're in contact with the Israeli workers. We succeeded in showing them what the Palestinian worker is like. Show them what they didn't know about us because they had the impression that maybe we were terrorists, probably because of the first, second, or third Intifada.
Away from the camera, however, other Palestinian workers say racism at work is prevalent and that West Bank employees feel they can't ask for a pay rise because they're scared of being fired. The Scarlett Johansson controversy comes as diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Israel are tense. In July 2013, John Kerry coaxed Israelis and Palestinians back to the negotiation table for 9 months of direct talks. In the wake of very little visible progress, however, some believe the U.S. could now consider imposing economic sanctions on the Israeli state.
It's a taboo subject and one that rarely finds its way to Egyptian popular culture. Yet homosexuality is the main theme of a film called Family Secrets. It follows 17-year-old Marwan, who's uncomfortable with his sexuality. Our correspondents Catherine Stapley and Pierrick Laurent went to check it out in Cairo.
أنا عايز إجابة واحدة بس. أنا اتخلقت كده وهفضل كده طول عمري خلاص. ولا أنا ممكن أتغير.
17-year-old Marwan struggles to come to terms with his sexuality in a society that won't accept him as gay. He goes to see a string of psychologists asking for help. 15 actors turned down the lead role, afraid not only of being typecast, but of a backlash from their families. Mohammed Mahran agreed to take it on, his first full-length feature film.
You know, this impression about the gay in Egypt or in the Middle East. So I was a little afraid about that, but when I read the script, it's so good.
Even though there are no explicit sex scenes, the Egyptian censors objected to several others and wanted them deleted. The film's director successfully appealed that decision.
The committee reduced the changes from 13 to 2 small changes, so it was possible to do it without disfiguring the film.
In perhaps the most risque scene in the film, we see Marwan in bed with his English tutor lover.
أنت سمعت عن دكتور اسمه أمجد وهبي؟
ده بيقولوا عليه متخصص في الموضوع بتاعنا. كلام فكسان يعني.
إزاي؟
ما اعرفش بالظبط ازاي. كان في حد كنت اعرفه من فترة. كان راح عنده. من ساعتها ما اعرفش حاجة عنه. تلاقيه انتحر.
It's a very heavy and difficult movie to comprehend. It's the first time I've seen this idea being presented like that.
The film was amazing, very real and very true to life, and very respectful. I was crying all the way through. It affected me so much.
Gay activists say it portrays being gay as a disease, while others argue it promotes homosexuality. The writer was inspired by true events. He says it's a human story aimed at opening debate.
I think we're not going to be a healthy society if we stopped denying the existence of the problems or the existence of things we reject. And I hope that after Family Secrets we see other movies that breach other taboos as well and change our way of thinking.
The controversy looks set to continue, with the film now being shown in more than 20 cinemas across Egypt.
Well, that's it for this week. See you next time for Middle East Matters.